Aloha, I'm Jessica Lonnie Rich, host of Inspire You and Me. It's an inspirational show where we talk to people who are making a difference. On this week's show, we have the Executive Director of Hawaii Fido, Jim Kennedy, the Executive Director of Aloha Medical Mission, Toni Muranaka, and bullying survivor and entertainer, Khay. And be sure to stay tuned for the Animal Lovers Clip of the Week. We'll have all that and more, and we'll be back right after this.
5914-777. Shoot-a-wah. Who's got the best deals in Vegas around? Who's got the best shoot-a-doo. Call 5914-777 today. Vacations Hawaii. Vacations Hawaii. Vacations Hawaii. Good luck, we go play. 5914-777 today. Good luck, we go play.
We are very excited to have as our special guest on the show the Executive Director of Hawaii Fido, Jim Kennedy. Aloha and welcome, Jim.
Thank you so much for including us today.
Jim, I met you at Bridge of Friendship and fortunately got to find out a lot about what you do. But for those people who are not familiar, what is your mission at Hawaii Fido?
Okay, Hawaii Fido Service Dogs is dedicated to providing quality, legitimate service dogs to people with disabilities other than blindness. Our dogs are totally free to those who receive them. It takes about 2 years to train a dog, and the first year is with puppy raisers, and we're always looking for new puppy raisers. And then the second year is actually training the dog to perform specific tasks for its future partner. It's a great organization. It's 20 years old. I joined them 4 years ago. I was retired, but my wife, who's blind and has had 3 guide dogs, our family's learned what a quality service dog does for a family. And when I heard Hawaii Fido was looking for assistance, I was so happy to jump in.
When you speak about your dogs and Hawaii Fido, there's so much passion and motivation behind it. What makes you tick?
Well, for starters, we've had beautiful, loving, hardworking, adorable Labrador retrievers in our household for 18 years. And they are like family. And so we recognize that a service dog, once partnered with their people person, once partnered, becomes an integral part of their life. And so I'm glad to help do whatever I can to allow Fido to match more dogs with more people who need them. But I am passionate about it, as you can tell.
How long has Hawaii Fido been in existence?
Well, we started in the year 2000 was when we got our 501c3. It actually formulated in the late 1990s, 99.
What do service dogs do?
As I mentioned, we provide them to people who have disabilities other than blindness.
Yes.
So what do our clients need? What are their circumstances? Almost everyone, all of our clients our graduates have serious balance control or muscle control issues. And so to a large part, our dogs, number one, they're taught obviously to retrieve, and it's not just fetch. We have some that are wheelchair bound. They can be taught to pull a wheelchair. They can be taught to hit the open door buttons, in stores. They have to learn how to deal with shiny floors, elevators, escalators, all of that. So there's quite a bit of, the first year or so of puppy raising is spent socializing and getting them accustomed to being around people and noise and the excitement of the activity of the community. That next year, that second year, is when they're really focused on trained to help that person and their specific needs.
Now, you're heavily involved in service dogs, obviously, but you are also involved in legislation. Tell us about that.
This past year, Senator Ruderman from the Big Island, who is a business owner, had it. And he said, I've got to try to do what I can and introduce a bill that will help reduce, probably not totally curtail, but reduce the abuse of people buying these vests and IDs online and slapping them on their dog and walking into businesses acting like they're a service dog. And so we had been testifying for 3 or 4 years, trying to get those laws passed. And this past year, we really pulled all of our service dog contacts together to provide testimony in support of it. And it went through. We thank the legislators for taking that tough stance.
There are people on the other side of the coin, people who have emotional support dogs that might be seeing you that feel, hey, my dogs are just as important. What's your response to that?
First off, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm empathetic to individuals who have emotional support dogs. It's not just me. Most of us are pretty empathetic. An emotional support dog really provides a benefit to its partner. Confidence, comfort, reduces their concern or anxieties, and that's important. But their partners are not disabled, and the emotional support dog is not providing a specific task. And what we need to do is that although they have access to housing under the Fair Housing Act or Air Carrier Access Act to aircraft on flights, they do not have the access rights of general businesses like a legitimate service dog does, because they are not a service dog. By ADA definition, that's the American with Disabilities Act, and by the new state law, they mirrored the ADA. So what we want to do is help educate people who have emotional support dogs and say, you know, we're with you, we love animals, we get it, but please know that is not a service animal, and it does not have the access rights that a legitimate service animal does.
Jim, in closing, what is it about Hawaii Fido that you'd like us to know that you haven't already shared with us?
Our website is hawaiifido.org. Fido is not hyphenated, it's one word, hawaiifido, FIDO.org. So please check this out. We provide an annual newsletter, and you can go back and look at several years and see how we've grown. The thing, if I could ask your viewers one favor, I would like to say, if you know somebody who is portraying their dog as a service dog, and you know it is not, can you try to find a sensitive way to let them know the downside of that? They really should not be doing it. You know, many have felt, well, no one's getting hurt. Well, you know what? Businesses now are concerned. Service dog handlers are under more and more scrutiny. An unruly dog could cause a legitimate trained service dog to lose focus and not be really ready and prepared to provide the service and task that's been trained. In the worst case, it would be possibly an attack. And someone says, oh, that doesn't happen. It happens. And so we're asking people to say, even though my dog won't hurt anybody and it's not creating a problem, it is creating a problem. Those first 3 accounts, whether they realize it or not. So try to find a way to have them rethink this. If I approach somebody and say, you know, you shouldn't be doing that, they're going to be so turned off, they're not going to listen to me. This guy, I don't know him, he's going to lecture me. But a family member or a dear friend who knows that this is not right, please try to find a way to talk with them in a caring way. And as I say, we take one faker dog at a time, you know, just reduce those numbers.
You are a man on a mission, and thank you so much for the wonderful work you're doing with Hawaii Fido. I wish you continued success, and I know we're going to continue to see your face all over the place because you're doing such a great job.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Unique, majestic, inspiring. Hawaii's hidden gem on the windward side. Just a short scenic drive will take you to one of the most extraordinary locations in the world. We specialize in conferences, meetings, retreats, business functions, social events, and off-premise catering. Delectable cuisine, stunning panoramic views, and excellence in first-class service. Let Ko'olau Ballrooms and Conference Center make your event a memorable experience.
I am very pleased to have as our special guest on the show, Toni Muranaka. She is the Executive Director of the Aloha Medical Mission. Aloha, welcome Toni.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Toni, Aloha Medical Missions has 2 functions. What are they?
Yeah, so when people hear about Aloha Medical Mission, you think about surgical missions. And so in 1983, that's when surgical missions was born. So we have about 8 different missions that go all over the world and they save people's lives. And so from our two founders, Ernesto Espaldon and Ramon C., these two doctors really cared about the children. So they did lip cleft surgeries in the Philippines. And so that's where it all started.
You mentioned the Philippines, but what other countries do you go to and what kind of reaction do you get?
So again, there's two functions.
Yes.
There's the missions, and then there's our Hawaii mission, which is our free dental clinic.
Yes.
So they see about 19 to 20,000 patients a year. Not only there's surgeries, there's hand prosthetics that is administered to kids or adults that lose their arm, whether it be from disease or different accidents that happen in these third world countries. So there's a lot going on with surgery. So it's just not medical missions, it's
Yes.
surgeries. And that is unique with our organization. I believe we're maybe the only organization that has surgical missions.
Speaking of surgeries, I did some research and found out that your surgeries are performed by doctors who are volunteers. That's amazing.
I know, it is amazing. So they not only pay for their airfare, but they sometimes close their practices to go and help others around the world. So it's a very touching, these doctors have huge hearts.
Before we transition into talking about the dental clinic, let's talk a little bit about you. A little bird told me that you love to play basketball.
Oh my gosh, okay. Yes, I was a tomboy. I just wanted to do all these sports, but the only thing I can do was spin the basketball on my finger. So I would spin on my finger, my elbow, bounce into my knee, and I don't know, it was kind of crazy, but it was one of those things that I wanted to do. And that actually helped me into modeling. I would go down the ramp and spin the ball and spin, and then for the American Heart Association, I did the Hoops for Heart. So in order to get the kids engaged in heart disease and stroke and all that serious stuff, I would invite the kids up to see who can spin the basketball the best. And I didn't tell them that I've been doing that since I was in 5th grade.
Wow.
So that's how I got their attention. And so that helped me transition into nonprofit work.
And you can tell that you're passionate about the work that you do. And we're going to talk now about the dental clinic.
We see over 300 patients a month. When I first started in 2016, we saw around 150, 175 a month. But because of our outreach, we go out into the community, like we go to Kay High School, we go to different areas that we need to get the word out. People are learning about us, which is great. However, we need to be careful because we only can see so many patients because we have so much funding that will cover, because we don't pay our dentists. So it's all, we have 16 volunteer dentists.
Oh my goodness.
And so it's the supplies.
Obviously, dental health is very expensive. So how do you sort out who can afford it, who can't? What do people need to do to qualify for your services?
That's a really good question. We actually expanded the benefits. So the poverty guidelines at 100%, there's like a table where it says if you have one person in your family, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is at 100% poverty level. We have expanded it to 200% because we realize that the kapuna, they are right in that gap. So we want to make sure we help a lot of the people that really need our services for free.
Getting back to talking about the mission, tell us a story about someone that you helped.
Well, it's not so much the missions, is because every day I see people that come to the clinic, and there's one gentleman in particular. He came to us like 2 or 3 times, and then at the very end, he gave us a check for $500, and he said, wow. Aloha Medical Mission was the only one that actually talked with him, that actually gave him care, and so he started his own construction business, and he came back about a year and a half later, and he wrote a check for $500, and that was touching, and we cried. And I mean, there's more stories, but that's the one.
Oh yeah, that is an awesome story. Now, your mission is bringing hope and changing the lives in Hawaii and beyond. And What a great mission, and you are changing lives.
It is amazing. Like I mentioned, we started with surgical missions all over the world. And so we have seen lives changed, lives saved, delivering children into the world. So that's changing lives, the fabric of the community. But in Hawaii, it's really a homegrown, helping fill the gaps of what the state is unable to accommodate. So we are changing lives, and we're making a difference.
If people want to get in touch with you and donate, how can they do that?
The easiest way is go to www.alohamedicalmission.org, and you'll see the donate button, or you can just come to our office. We are moving our dental clinic. So we're going to be building a brand new clinic right at the Aloha United Way building. So you can come and visit us there, either at Palama Settlement location or at the Aloha United Way building.
Toni, thank you so much for the amazing work that you're doing, not just here in Hawaii, but around the world. I wish you the very best and continued success.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I am very excited to have as our special guest on the show a bullying survivor and popular entertainer, Khay. Aloha, welcome, Evan.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so cool.
It's really good to see you again.
Me too.
Now, one of the reasons I invited you is that bullying is a problem pretty much everywhere, in the junior high schools and in the schools and even in colleges and on social media. Now, when you were growing up, you had a bullying experience. What was it like?
Well, for me, the bullying experiences it kind of just followed me everywhere I went. It was at school, it was in my personal life, it was in my extracurricular activities. It was just a continual thread through everything I tried to do. And in school in particular, there was one group of kids that would kind of follow me through my school career, we'll say. And it really kind of enabled me and kind of put me in a predicament to where I needed to be strong on my own and really have that intestinal fortitude to stand up for myself. Because I would be in predicaments where it was, there was one person or there was a group of people bullying physically, bullying emotionally, verbally, and it really taught me that I needed to, from a very young age, from like 7 or 8 even, that I needed to be able to stand on my own 2 feet regardless of what happened.
Evan, bullying hurts and it gives people low self-esteem. How did it affect you?
I would live my life as a child, and even sometimes now when I hear these hurtful things or experience these hurtful things, a part of me in the back of my brain always wants to go, but what if they're right? What if what they're saying about me is true? And it would put me into these downward spirals of me having that truth, that self-truth and that self-worth stripped away from me, and putting my truth and my self-worth and my self-love in other people's hands. And a lot of times with bullying, at least for me, that was a lot of it, and that was kind of the outcome of a lot of these encounters, is where I would get put down, I would get pushed down, and I would falter because I believed what these people were saying about me more than what I believed about myself.
In addition to bullying at school, when you came home, you had a challenging situation because your mother had cancer.
Yeah, so my mom ended up having 2 different types of cancer. When I was a freshman and sophomore in high school, she had breast cancer. Got through that, and then when I was a junior, like the next year, my mom suffered from gastric cancer, which she eventually passed from in 2014.
And how old were you when your mom passed away?
I was 18, and it was very difficult to really kind of handle all of it. I would have these experiences at home that I couldn't tell anyone at school, and then I'd have these encounters at school that I couldn't tell anyone at home.
Exactly.
So especially, when I was in my junior year and senior year of high school, there was a lot of loneliness going on.
Evan, your depression and sadness led to something else.
Yeah, it right around the first semester of my senior year, my thoughts kind of became very suicidal, and it was right around there that I knew that I needed to, as much as I wanted to fall into the negativity of it, I needed to take that emotion and these feelings and pivot it into something positive for myself, and that's where music came for me.
Evan, let's change directions now. You overcame a lot of obstacles and channeled it into your music. Share with us about that.
It was really, for me, my music was really just an open journal. When I didn't have anyone to go to, I knew that I could put my feelings and my emotions into my music. And that's where a lot of my, I guess, coping came from, was from being able to put these feelings into words and then those words into music.
Amazing things have been happening in your life after you have overcome all these obstacles. Share with us about those.
So last year, I was nominated for a Nahoku Hano Hano Award.
Congratulations, belated.
Thank you. And that was for my debut album, Retrograde, which came out in 2017. And with new music on the way and more producing opportunities, it's definitely really enabled me to put my emotions into kind of a positive sense, yeah.
What message do you have, Evan, for anyone else who might be dealing with bullying?
Well, the main thing is that you're not alone. And for me, I had to learn that very quickly, that I felt alone, but I also didn't have the strength, nor the words to communicate my feelings. So one, you're not alone, but two, that it's a daily struggle to overcome, because there's the external bullying, but if we're strong enough to believe in our self-worth, then the bullying won't bother us. So it's a daily reminder to keep our guard up and our wall up, to disregard what comes at us. So. Yeah.
And Evan, congratulations on your Nahoku Hano Hano nomination, and you're playing all over the place, and I wish you continued success in your career, and I'm so happy that you've gone from bullying to being a really fabulous entertainer.
Thank you so much. Thank you, it's a pleasure being here.
When you feel like Vegas, there's just one place to stay. Grab a drink at the Holo Holo bar, there's just one place to play. We got a fresh, hot look, a new sports book. We got those local meals, just like Auntie cooks. Aloha spoken here. Book now at thecal.com.
We hope that you've enjoyed our show this week. I'm going to leave you with a rich thought for the day. Harmony means to create peacefulness, friendship, and rapport with other people. When we create harmony in our life, we're all choosing to make the world a better place to live. Think about it. Until we meet again, I'm Jessica Lonnie Rich. Take care and aloha.
Today I heard the voice of fear screaming down so loud and clear that all my dreams, they disappeared. But then a fire way out my core came to life and now it roars. Now I'm ready to fight for more. Was feeling low but I got high hopes now, 'cause I know I will be the last one standing. I will be the last one standing. Like a solid tree I'm planted, I will be the last one standing. When things don't go the way I planned it, I won't take this chance for granted. Knock me down but I won't panic, 'cause I won't be the last one standing. You see, time goes on and tables turn. Embrace it all, that's what I've learned. Give up your doubts, they only weigh you down. 'Cause I was feeling low but I got high hopes now, 'cause I know I will be the last one standing. I will be the last one standing. Like a solid tree I'm planted, I will be the last one standing.
The hardest thing in life is letting go of a loved one. Finding the right provider can be essential in your time of need. Celebrate your loved one with Ballard Family Mortuaries. We offer a full range of cremation and burial services on Oahu, Maui, Hilo, and Kona with professional guidance and specialized attention you can trust at the most affordable cost. Call us today for a free consultation on funeral service options available to you and your family. Ballard Family Mortuary Group, serving Hawaii since 1997.